Well, good morning to everyone, and we'll begin our meditation now with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, Beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukeshwarji, Beloved Guru, Paramahansa Yoganandaji, Saints of all religion, Beloved Swamiji, we humbly bow to you all. Divine Mother, we deeply thank you for the many blessings that you give to us. Inspire us as your instruments to share these blessings with all souls. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Tells me thou art dark, O my Magdeva. Tells me thou art dark, O my Magdeva. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Who tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Who tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Who tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Who tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Who tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Who tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Who tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Who tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Who tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Thousands of suns and moons from thy body do shine. Who tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Who tells me thou art dark, O my Mother Divine? Who tells me thou art dark, O my In preparation now for meditation, let's inhale, tense, and vibrate our bodies. Throw the breath out. Again, tense and vibrate. Throw the breath out. And one last time. Now, let's offer into the light between the eyebrows, the love of the heart awaken through chanting. Praying to God, reveal myself, and feel His ever-growing response. So meditate now until 10 o'clock. stand for our fire ceremony. As we chant these sacred mantras for enlightenment, for liberation, enter into this ceremony with faith that we can truly burn out karma. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Om Tatsavitu Varniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayato Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Om Tatsavitu Varniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayato Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Om Tatsavitu Varniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayato Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Om Tatsavitu Varniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayato Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Om Tatsavitu Varniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayato Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Om Tatsavitu Varniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayato Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Om Tatsavitu Varniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayato Om Triambakam Yajame Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mokshiyam Amritat Swaha Om Triambakam Yajame Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mokshiyam Amritat Swaha Om Triambakam Yajame Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mokshiyam Amritat Swaha Om Triambakam Yajame Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mokshiyam Amritat Swaha Om Triambakam Yajame Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mokshiyam Amritat Swaha Om Triambakam Yajame Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mokshiyam Amritat Swaha Om Triambakam Yajame Sugandhim Pushtivaranam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mokshiyam Amritat Swaha Om Swaha Om Swaha Om Swaha O eternal fire of Om, we offer into thy flames of love all that we are. Awaken us, purify us. Om Shanti. Please be seated. Well, it's a joy to have you all here this morning. We've been dreaming of this very day for quite some time. So it's, again, a real joy to have you all here. Let's begin with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Guru, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we bow to you again and again. Divine Mother, Blessed Swamiji, bless this meditation. We want to feel your presence. Open our hearts, open our minds to thy steady flow of praise. Om. Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Jai Guru Jai, Guru Jai, Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. Arman se Yogananda Jai Guru Jai. I sing thy name, I would read thy name, get all around, thy name I sing, Thy name I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name. Om Christ, 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 Om I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name. Om Vamji, 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 Om I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name. Om Mehri, 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 Om I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name. Feel catch what, 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 I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name. Om Guru, 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 I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name I will sing, Thy name I will drink, Thy name, get all around the Thy name. I am the one who make me see, Lord, I am the one who make me to see. Make me the sea, oh, make me the sea. Make me the sea, oh, make me the sea. Wave of the sea, dissolve in the sea. Wave of the sea, dissolve in the sea. Oh, I am the one who make me the sea. Lord, I am the one who make me the sea. So good, thou my Lord, so good, thou my Lord, thou and I, never apart, thou and I, never apart. Wave of the sea, dissolve in the sea. Wave of the sea, dissolve in the sea. Oh, I am the one who makes me see. Lord, I am the one who make me the sea. 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 Wave of the sea, dissolve in the sea.
affirmations for self-healing by Swami Ananda is on gratitude. Gratitude is a way of returning energy for energy received. Only a thief takes without paying for what he gives. And one who accepts a kindness without returning gratitude, as though the kindness were his by right, demeans both the giver and himself. He demeans the giver because by ingratitude, he implies that the kindness was inspired by selfish motives. And he demeans himself because by giving nothing in return, he breaks the cycle of creativity, without which prosperity's flow, both materially and spiritually, is blocked. Accept nothing inwardly for yourself, but offer everything to God. Don't let yourself be bought by others' kindnesses. Be grateful to them above all in your soul by blessing or praying for them. Give gratitude first of all to God, from whom alone all blessings truly come. And please affirm with me, close your eyes, concentrate at the spiritual eye, and with a lot of energy out loud, affirm with me after I say, I give thanks to the giver behind each gift, and to the one giver behind all that I receive. My gratitude rises with devotion's incense to the throne of omnipresence. A little more quietly with deep concentration. I give thanks to the giver behind each gift, and to the one giver behind all that I receive. My gratitude rises with devotion's incense to the throne of omnipresence. And now in a whisper, I give thanks to the giver behind each gift, and to the one giver behind all that I receive. My gratitude rises with devotion's incense to the throne of omnipresence. And now silently, with deep love and concentration at the point between the eyebrows, I give thanks to the giver behind each gift, and to the one giver behind all that I receive. My gratitude rises with devotion's incense to the throne of omnipresence. My gratitude rises with devotion's incense to the throne of omnipresence. And now please pray silently with me. I thank thee, Lord, for all thy blessings, but most of all, I thank thee for thy love. Om Shanti Shanti. This is a reading from Whispers from Eternity. This is a book of prayers and poems by Paramahansa Yogananda. And this is entitled, Save Us from Religious Bigotry. Our one Father, we are traveling by many true paths to thy one abode of supreme truth. Help us to understand that the diverse religions are all branches on thy one tree of truth. Bless us that we may enjoy the intuition-tested, ripe, and luscious fruits of self-knowledge that hang from every branch of true scriptural teachings. Thy temple is but one. Its name is silence. In it we sing thee a combined chorus of many religions. Teach us to chant together in harmony. May the combined expressions of our love for thee make thee break thy silence and lift us up as a mother does her children onto thy lap of universal understanding and immortality. Sing along with us to confirm thy acceptance of our chants to thee.
well. Sometimes I think that, although we yogis know that this world is a dream, when something like this comes to us, I think, well, maybe it's not a dream. This feels like reality. What a contrast to be in the country. It really, really is special. And that's why, special is hardly the word, that's why Yogananda was so keen to get out of the country, satsang, be together, because we really need that. The Maya is very strong and well known as surviving all of this COVID as best we could. The challenges are very, very strong, and yet when you come to a place like this, then you begin to feel like everything can be shed. We don't need to be thinking about, all of the various things that we experience in our day-to-day life. We can just think about relaxing, and that's the key. Oftentimes I think that the only difference between the gurus and us, we're all children of God, is that they're relaxed. They've relaxed into the ultimate relaxation, samadhi. And we are working on that, and that's where meditation comes in. And that's where seva comes in, because as we feel more and more that God is the one who is doing everything, and that, of course, is the truth, then we can relax into the thought that He'll take care of us. And He's taking care of us now. We're all in the woods. I haven't heard one hawker come by selling his stuff. Where'd they go? They'll be here after a while, perhaps. And yet, at the same time, wherever Divine Mother places us, oftentimes I think of Ananda Swami sharing very sweetly Lahiri Mahashaya's, Leela, that Lahiri Ananda said was like a little kitten. Divine Mother's little kitten. Wherever Divine Mother placed the little kitten, fine. An avatar, 30 years in the government office. Wow. It's amazing. And again, his boss knew. He was no ordinary man. He used to call him ecstatic Babu. And so for us, wherever Divine Mother places us, wherever she places us, we have our portable paradise inside. We're covered. We don't have to be thinking about, as Yogananda said, keep your eyes on your own platter. We don't need to be looking to the right and looking to the left. This one has this, all the various things. It's a colossal waste of time. We have come down here to this earth to really achieve our purpose, our true purpose. A lot of people will scramble their entire life wondering what their purpose is. But our purpose is to find God. And so when we get together in satsang, then we remind each other, again and again, we remind each other. I don't know how many times, and I'm sure you've experienced this so many times too, and will experience it many times in the future, where you come to a gathering perhaps, and it's been a hard week, and you see one face of the devotee, the eyes being the windows of the soul. All of a sudden you think, well, what was I carrying, into this retreat? This isn't me, all of this, confusion, whatever it might be. We have been healed at a glance. To where two or more are gathered, there I am in the midst of them. And so when we were looking for property, and we're still looking for property that we can own and so forth, the thought came from a few, why don't you rent something perhaps in the facilities? We thought, okay, that sounds good. And so we began thinking, let's look for master's footprint, because you want the vibration. This is a beautiful facility, and they have put a lot of love into it. You can feel it. But really what you want in any situation, whether you're going to some park, and I'm speaking ideally, whatever it might be, you want to first feel that going into this experience, you can be bathed in the vibration. Luckily for us, when we find ourselves in more challenging environments, we can go inside and say, I'm going to need some extra help. with this particular part of the neighborhood, or with these relatives, or with these colleagues, whatever it might be. But we have to understand that we want to always see if we can do the easy things as much as possible. And in that way, we are able more swiftly to circumvent this labyrinth, this Maya, this duality of seeming separation. Because the easy thing is meditate on a daily basis. Even if it's, and Swami was always saying, I'm going to bargain with you. Just meditate 5 minutes. I'm going to bargain with you. He would say again and again. Why? Because in that way, we begin to taste of reality. Because when we go inside and drink of the inner stillness, stillness is God, as Yogananda pointed out, then we think, okay, now how can I carry this vibration now into my daily life? And we know that we stumble and all the various things. Forget it. Count your blessings, skip the rest. The wise counsel of Sri Gainamata, Yogananda's most advanced disciple. We pick ourselves up again and we correct ourselves. We pick ourselves up again and we open our hearts and we keep our life simple and we do the easy things. And in that way, again, as Swamiji has pointed out, nature doesn't make sudden leaps. It took us 9 years to get here. We didn't just say, hi, we just landed from California. Now, let's see, this looks good. Okay, great. We had many locations and it was step by step. What does that remind us of? The inner journey. So we work with the restless mind. We work with the turbulent heart. And more we begin to experience the depth of meditation. And then we find that our interest is truly more and more to find God and to share God. Remember when Swami Kriyananda came from New York to Los Angeles, he had 2 thoughts in mind after discovering the autobiography of the yogi, and he was in desperate need at that point in time for help. And there was the autobiography of the yogi, and it changed his life. And he had 2 thoughts as he crossed the country, and that's a long journey. Some time back, I drove our daughter to college from California to the East Coast. That's 3,000 miles. That was 4 full days of driving. It's a long distance. And so he had the time to introspect and to thank God for the gift that he had been given, the inner life and the possibility of becoming a disciple, because he didn't know would Yogananda accept him. And he did that very first day. And his 2 thoughts were simply, I want God. I want God. I must have it. It was urgent for him. He must have God. And then I want to share God. And that's the ideal, because otherwise we really become, as Yogananda talked about, 1 horsepower engine, because we're just thinking about our spiritual growth. And that's going to take us a little ways. But where are we going? We're going back to our home, which is omnipresence. So let's practice now, beginning to feel that oneness that we all really share. And so one of the energization exercises, some of you may be familiar with them, is pounding your head. Yogananda used to do it for 5 minutes. We spare you when we teach you. It's a little less, but I think to myself when I'm doing it often, yes, knock some sense into this head. Knock some sense into this head. And then add to that, pound the heart a bit too. Get this heart to open. And so as we go about our lives, then see if you can, and we do this, certainly, we wouldn't be here, to find those strengths within you. All of us have strength. There's no question about it. We're very, very strong. We have strength, and we want to go through our day looking for those times when we can draw upon that strength. And with all this technology, it's just wonderful because we can look at the screen and maybe we're in need of a little bit of a spiritual boost, and the boss is far enough away, you won't see what we're looking at. And some kind of a satsang, perhaps even for a few minutes. The minutes are more important than the years, even a few minutes on the phone listening to a bhajan. Just yesterday, I was saying to Harish, and I've mentioned this from time to time because I find it so interesting. He said when he lived in Salt Lake City in the United States, he had a very short commute. And when he came to Bangalore, very long commute. And he's been really enjoying it. And I was kind of shocked. I didn't faint, but I was shocked because I'd never heard that. Being from Los Angeles, again, I know what traffic is. And why would you be happy about a long commute? He said, you know something? It's so difficult to make the time to listen to the talks of Swami and listen to the music. I have all this time to get home. I hardly know how I got home. I'm just so absorbed. It reminds me of my father, who was a civil engineer, and we were raised in Southern California. And he had a deep spiritual experience. He never told me what it was, but you could see it in his face. They used to call him the Buddha. He had just a shining face. And he would, during his last years, he retired early, he wouldn't even know how he got home. And it was about an hour's journey from Beverly Hills to where we lived by the ocean, Manhattan Beach. He didn't even know day after day after day how he got home because he was so absorbed by this experience that apparently stuck with him, no doubt. And then at one point, he went on a 3.5-year sabbatical, and it completely changed his life. And I was very fortunate to be raised in that household with my mother and father, deep souls, dedicated, devoted. And so for us, no matter what God has given us, I often think of when Yogananda, from time to time, there would be lunches and the devotees would be there, maybe just a dozen or so. And so he would make up the plate, or a plate would come to him all made up, and he would hand it to the first one there at the table. And they would say, thank you. He said, no. When they would pass it on to the next person, he said, no, that was meant for you. That was meant for you. And so they thought, oh my goodness, are we being rude, not passing the plate? But that blessing was very unique to what they needed. And so it is for us, where we have been placed, wherever that might be. We're householders, we have kids, whatever it is. Roma and I are in a whole different situation now. Our daughter Rose is now 33. She's not 3. When she was 3, we were doing different things, weren't we? Very different, mostly running after her. But now she's 33 and she's on her own and a wonderful woman and very independent and all of that. We go through these chapters, these various stages. And in India, we know, the first ashram and the second ashram and so forth. And so when we were packing boxes when we were in JP Nagar, which now seems like a million years ago. We just got here on Monday. I don't know what that's all about, time and space and illusion. And then here, different people, oh, don't move that box, eyeing my gray hair. And I would say, listen, I've got energy. I'm a karma yogi. I like to do things. At Ananda, we pay no attention. It's just a cartoon. You look in the mirror and you wonder who it is. You go, oh my goodness, there's an old man there looking back at me. And you think, well, no, actually, that's me. Well, I don't think so. I'm not that. None of us are that. As Yogananda, Louis Royston, one of the disciples, there was privileged to be there with Yogananda for some years. And when he passed in his Mahasamadhi, they were there at the forest lawn crypt where he is buried. And everyone, of course, was weeping. It was a situation brought, of course, floods of tears. And so she too was weeping. And all of a sudden, she felt his presence right beside him, right beside her. And he said, I'm not in there. I'm not in there. And he encouraged and comforted the disciples when they were concerned that he would be leaving soon, because he hinted he's going to be leaving soon. He's going to be, again, leaving this body and going into the astral world to serve there. And he would say to them in so many ways, for those who think me near, I will be near. And so easy things. Be in the environments that have power. spiritual power. That's why India is the guru of the world, because you can hardly throw a stone when there's another shrine. The other day, when I was in JP Nagar and so forth and doing a few errands, I saw once again this shrine, and he was on the road. I mean, right on the road. And so I asked my friend Suraj, I said, here are these people, I'm afraid they're going to get hit by traffic. It's like, they're doing their puja and the traffic is racing by. I said, what is this? He said, there used to be a lake here. This was the mandir by the lake. And I thought, well, they still feel the power in this very unusual setting. And they're willing to risk their lives. They're doing their puja, filling their hearts with devotion, because they know God is there, the saints are there, and they are there to fill up so they can, again, give what they can. And that's what we are trying to do. Remember, we go deep in order to share. That's what it's all about. When I was thinking first of coming here, coming to the country of Roma, and I haven't lived in the country for 20 years. We've been in the city. And so I was thinking, you know what is my favorite thing? For the kids. Because the kids have been in our various centers in these tiny little spots, playing their badminton and all of this stuff, after, lunch and so forth. And it's been so sweet in these little, places we've had. And I thought, okay, now guys, you've earned it. You can go and play, everywhere here. And of course, all of us as the big kids. That is something too that is going to be deeply meaningful. And so as you can, we're going to be having our first overnights, probably in January, we'll have to see here. Wow. And retreats where, maybe we'll have 4 in a room if that's okay. And have, larger numbers of people. We'll have many retreats here, as we've had in all the various centers and in the various meditation groups around the world. Satsang, Sunday satsang, retreats, anything that we can do, we want to do in order to grow spiritually. And so again, it's a real joy to have this first satsang that we have been dreaming about for a long time. And so anything that we can do for you, it's our great good fortune for Roma and I to have so many wonderful and sterling souls here. When we were raised, I don't know about you, but you would find one person, maybe he was the postman. He was a bright light, and you would always enjoy when he would come by and deliver the letters, or maybe someone at the grocery store. It was always so sweet. And oh, you don't have this? I'll order it for you. Always willing to go the extra mile. But when you spend time with devotees, it's a bumper crop of refined souls. All of these blessings over all the many incarnations shining through. And it's very, very apparent that really we're having the experience of taste of heaven by spending time with one another. And so when different ones aren't able to come, Anurag's in Denmark, he just sent his phone number. Roma just told me this morning. Wonderful soul. Is he really in Denmark? Okay. But he's here. And it's true, again, of our dear ones and our friends, even those that have parted. They're with us because this thought that we're just this form, it does nothing for us. But as we, and that's why Yogananda was so keen, memorize my poem Samadhi every day and repeat it, because in that mystical poem, it reminds us of being really blissfully omnipresent. Even now, we're working on experiencing that, and we do find that little bubble of joy and puff on it. But that's where we've come from, and that's where we're going. So, again, God bless, and we will now have our Aarti. You did good. I'm glad for that. I'll leave the mic with you.
Okay. I wanted to just read a short passage from the autobiography of the yogi. We won't keep you long. This is from the chapter at Encinitas in California. Surprise, sir! During your absence abroad, we have had this Encinitas hermitage built. It is a welcome home gift. Sister Gyanamata smilingly led me through a gate and up a tree-shaded walk. I saw a building jutting out like a great white ocean liner toward the blue brine. First speechlessly, then with ohs and ahs, finally with man's insufficient vocabulary of joy and gratitude. I examined the ashram, 16 unusually large rooms, each one charmingly appointed. The stately central hall with immense ceiling-high windows looks out on a united altar of grass, ocean, sky, a symphony in emerald, opal, sapphire. A mantle over the hall's huge fireplace holds the frame likeness of Lahiri Mahashaya, smiling his blessing over this far Pacific heaven. Directly below the hall, built into the very bluff, two solitary meditation caves confront the infinities of sky and sea. Verandas, sunbathing nooks, acres of orchard, a eucalyptus grove, flagstone paths leading through roses and lilies to quiet arbors, a long flight of stairs ending on an isolated beach, and the vast waters was dream ever more concrete. And Master Yogananda was always encouraging the disciples, always having the disciples and Swamiji look for beauty, to uplift the vibration, to raise the consciousness of those around you, to look in your environment and find ways to make it better than when you first came. Really, he encouraged us not to be passive in our spiritual lives, not to be passive in just receiving and taking the blessings, and isn't this wonderful? It is. But what makes it wonderful? What makes it feel like it's a spiritual home? This is what we're striving for, is to make this place now, in this point in time, a spiritual home. What will do that? It will be our devotion. It will be our sincerity. It will be our seva when you come here, to plant flowers, to help any way that you can. This is a way now that we can take our Bangalore Sangha up to the next level. Because before, it was just coming to Sunday satsang and then going back. But now this will be open all the time. And you can come and join your energies with those of your guru bodies and place your vibrations into this place. And then when we finally do leave this place, I hope many years down the road, it will be more beautiful. It will be uplifting. People will walk in and they'll feel Yogananda's vibration. They'll feel Swamiji's vibration. They'll feel your vibration. Any little act of seva is more important when it's done with love, when it's done with devotion, than anything you can do in this world. And so we've been given a gift, just like Master had his gift in Encinitas. And we've been given an opportunity to really do something beautiful for Master, to do something more lovely than we could have imagined, to encourage each one of us to step out of our comfort zones. Step out. You know, we have our comfort zones. We have our families, we have our jobs, we have the little circles around us. We have now online, you don't have to do anything but put on your slippers and turn on the computer. You know, you don't really have to go out. We have all that. But what we need to do now, and I really feel that Master's asking us to do, because he loves us and he wants us to experience that samadhi, that oneness with him, he's asking us to take the next step. He's asking us to really pour our love into this retreat so that others can come and feel what he has given us. Kriya Yoga is not just about meditating for yourself. Kriya Yoga is about finding God and sharing God. And the more you feel that flow of divine love coming through you, and really you start to feel it when you start serving, unselfishly, you really feel it. You begin to grow, your karma becomes lighter, you become more super conscious in the way you live your daily life. You take this with you into your daily life. Right where God has placed you. There is no place else you have to be. There is no place else, no other people in your lives that need to be there in order for you to find God. No challenges that are in your life are accidents. These are things that God has given us to grow through, so that He can come to us and take our karma. Kriya Yoga is the most powerful spiritual technique there is. This is what Babaji said. It's what Master said. And when you have the protection and the guidance of the Guru, then you want to listen. You want to be humble. You want to do what he wants you to do. So we need to get out of our minds, be out in nature, be calm, and receive this gift. It is a gift. I really believe that many people will find God when they come here. I believe that. We are going to have Kriya retreats. We're going to have silent retreats. We're going to have 8-hour meditations. We're going to have kirtan. We're going to have classes for children. We're going to have music. We're going to have a choir. We're going to do the things that Master wants us to do. And so it really is like the next step for Ananda Bangalore. And for each of us, I just hope that we can take it seriously and really, in gratitude and humility and love, do what we can for Master, because we are his instruments. He doesn't have anybody else. We are his disciples. We have signed up for a lifetime of freedom with the Master. We've dedicated our lives already. And so he's going to give us things to do, to encourage us to go further and expand our consciousness and open our hearts and make our lives more beautiful and make others' lives more beautiful too. So I just wanted to say those few words, and we're really grateful to everybody who has contributed so much. From the very first thought all the way through, everybody has done so much. And keep Ananda in your prayers during this time of darkness in the world. Ananda is a bright light, and we want to make it brighter. And we make it brighter through our deep kriyas, our meditations, and our seva. That's how we make it brighter. And we do it with satsang, with one another. And that's what makes it joyful. We need each other, and we need the Guru. And we just need more love. The more we love, the more this world will be a better place. So God bless you all. And thank you for everything. Thank you to Divine Mother. Thank you to all the Gurus. And we're going to have an Aarti now, so please stand.
Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee.